Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry I am late. I could not find anything to eat. So we had PPI here. Let's come in and see what the numbers were. I need to refresh financial juice here. US PPI. Month over month, they were looking for a reading of spot 2, and we got a reading of 0. For PPI, the same spot 2 versus 0, and the year over year numbers also lower than expected. His inflation numbers are really good. You know what's super crazy to me? You know what? Let's wait. I'm sure people are streaming in. I did not get the thing started on time. Let's go and look at the charts. So the Treasuries yesterday, CPI, the headline numbers looked pretty good, but they sold off pretty hard after that. I got back from my dentist appointment. I was like, what the? It was bad. Okay. Now we're recovering a little bit. Okay. S&P 500 also taking a beating yesterday. But can they maybe crawl that back? I don't know. Oil heading lower. Gold and silver, a little bit to the downside, I'd say. Copper, that is, I mean, if that isn't a flag, that is the craziest flag I have ever seen. Right? Okay. Japanese yen. They took the beating with the Treasuries, but pretty flat after that. And Bitcoin kind of middling after taking a pretty major pullback from all-time highs. Some of the bills in the Senate or whatever did not make it out of committee. So I was going to say, yesterday, CPI, inflation numbers all looked pretty good, okay? But you would not know it from any of the news stories that I read. Every single news story that I read yesterday about CPI was like how inflation is occurring. I was like, what? Like yes, we are seeing a little bit of inflation. But the inflation that we're seeing, as far as I can tell, is this cyclical inflation. Like, it's going to go, you know what? I need to restart my pen here. Hold on a second. Epic Pen just, it's got a memory leak or something. Auto went down? What does that mean? So when you get inflation, you can go like this, and then it's going to be like, and we're like right here. Oh, auto prices. Yeah, okay. Automobile prices, yes. Yeah, I saw this video yesterday. They said that the 2024 Ford Mustang was the lowest selling Mustang ever. And the 2025 is set to be even worse. And why is that? Well, according to the commenters, at least, it's because it's too expensive, which is probably right. Like, I just can't see myself spending $60,000 to get a Mustang. Like, if I'm going to spend $70,000, I'm going to get a luxury car, probably. The car prices just, it got ridiculous. It really is. Like if I had to start all over, I lost everything, get a new job, have to buy a new house, have to buy a new car. I don't understand how anybody could live on less than $100,000 a year. Like we're already getting to that point where it's like, to be middle class, you have to be over 100,000, and you know, to have a family and everything, like 160, which where I live is really, really high. So like, yeah, the cost of living is way higher than like what people can actually handle. And what's happening is essentially the people that already got in are fine, because, you know, they've had their houses for a long time, they've had their cars for a long time, and then the young people are just shut out. Although I would say, if you're a young person, because my brother's kind of in this situation, right? Like, if you have the money to buy a house, and it's just like, well, I'm hoping that the prices will come down, or the interest rates will come down, or something like that. If you can afford the house, even though, you know, it'll be tight, but you can afford the house, you should just do it. Because the chances are that eventually the interest rates will come down. It might take a while. Might take a couple of years. might take maybe even 8 years for the interest rates to really, really come down. But eventually they'll come down. And I don't think the housing prices will. Like, what I see is we are just not dealing with the housing supply problem. So I think housing prices will continue to go up, and eventually interest rates will come down. So if you lock it in now, and then eventually interest rates will come down, and your income will continue to go up too. Okay, well, so we got a pretty good pop off of the PPI news. It's not nearly enough to undo the damage that happened yesterday, but maybe they're just getting started. We're kind of on the pullback phase right now. We'll see how far back they come. So now I'm thinking, yesterday, after the stream and everything, I spent a bit more time looking at our Sierra charts indicator, and I was able to fix it. So it was kind of not doing what we wanted yesterday, but now you can see here, you know, yeah, we went down, the shorts made tons of money. So of course their cost basis is like way up there, right? Cool. Now Octavius was saying that it was not resetting at the end of the session for him. So I think what you should do is you should save your chart book and send it over to me. And then, you know, I can try to debug what it's doing. I mean, you can test it too. Yeah. All you have to do is give me your Sierra Charts username. So I think, what is it they said? You go to help about, is it? Yeah. You go to help about, and then it says account name. I just put that account name in, and I can add you to the application. And then next time you restart NinjaTrader, you'll have it. Or sorry, next time you restart Sierra Charts, you'll have it. So that's kind of cool. They have like an automated deployment mechanism. I did not expect that. That's really sick. Actually, so what I'm finding with Sierra charts, oh my gosh, it's so interesting. Because there are definitely things about Sierra charts that I think are kind of janky. Like, this interface is just not as slick. It's just not as slick. When you come over here to like about, like this graph is weird. It just doesn't look to me like as slick as other platforms. But I think that is kind of a function of the way that it's developed and all of that, right? It's made in C++. As far as I can do, they did like everything from scratch. And so they focused on adding all of the features from everybody else's platform and not really on the interface. And that often results in software that is really complicated and hard to use sometimes. But it is still a very, very, very mature platform. They've had a lot of developers working on it for a long time. And so they have built all of these things into the software to try and deal with those problems. So the automated deployment is one of them. Like, well, okay, most people aren't savvy enough to deal with DLL files and things like that. So they made a system that literally pushes the DLLs to you automatically. All you got to do is restart the platform and they show up. Like when I did it with Octavius yesterday, I was like, I've got to be getting something wrong here. Like, it's not going to work. But it worked the first time. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, I need some people to test it and give it to you. You guys that are here in chat, I'll absolutely let you have it. They also, apparently, I didn't realize they also have a store over in Sierra Charts, which I don't get why NinjaTraders never made a store, but yeah, whatever. Maybe the store is a bad thing because it does kind of invite in some, kind of invites, okay, I'll make an algorithm and then everybody just tries to sell their crappy algorithm and actually work. Okay, yeah, so here's Octavius's chart book. There's got to be a setting in your chart book that breaks the way that I'm grabbing the beginning of the session, right? Open chart book. I need to put it in the data channel. Your chart, data, everything in the data folder. There it is right there. Oh no, on this one it's working too. Oh no, this is the same as no. Send me the chart book that wasn't working. Send me the one that wasn't working. I want to try and figure out what setting it is that makes it not work. That's why I was kind of showing you. Yes, well, I'll show you guys here too. Here's the piece of code. So I say sc.get trading day start date time of bar. Essentially. So I get of the current bar, what is the start of that trading day, and then I say, are we in that current bar? And then if it is, then reset. So that's where, like in NinjaTrader, that sort of logic would be the sort of thing that would maybe screw up if you were using like non-time-based bars or something like that, right? So I'm trying to figure out why the why it wasn't resetting for Octavius. RX Geo, welcome back. So what we got to do is we just got to get the chart book that doesn't work, right? And just keep messing with it until we break it, I guess. Oh, yours, that one is not. Oh, is this? Oh, How come they look different between my two chart books? What? ZN, there's something wrong with this one. That doesn't look right to me. Okay, well, you're using candles. That's one difference. I wouldn't think that using candles or not candles would be the thing that... I don't know what to make of that, man. That's... So it is resetting at the end of the session. But this chart book is not doing... This one is correct. And in fact, if I show my NinjaTrader one over here, you can see this little spike over here when it moved down. Yeah, that's correct. So what is broken about this one? Ah, you know what I can do? Let's try this. What is the difference between these two chart books? The cost? No, what is mine called? Seth 2 chart book. Oh, we should say between these two Sierra charts chart books. Displays my cost basis indicator correctly, but the cost basis, is that what it was called? What did we call it? What is your session times? Don't know. Chart settings. $30 days. Session time. Session start time 2200, session end time 2100, which is probably wrong, by the way, but that's not when the overnight session starts, is it? Oh, maybe it is. It must be in well, I don't know what the global time zone is, but anyways, let's see if Gemini can figure it out, okay? Upload files. All files. Seth. Cost basis. All right, it says unsupported. Didn't like that. Open with Notepad just once. What is the format? Oh my gosh, really? Guys, you see every chance. So that's not gonna work. Why would you save it in a binary format? One of the things that I keep seeing coming up in my life right now is everything that I'm looking at and I'm doing and everything, there's like components to it that are like crazy impressive, and then components that are like really disappointing. It's like everything that the LLMs do, they'll like just absolutely blow me away. How they're able to do things. And then they make the stupidest brain dead mistakes. '18 start and 1759 new bar at session. Okay, so first of all, let's go to the general settings and make sure I understand what I have set for my global time zone. I don't see anything in general settings that looks anything like graphics settings. Ooh. Change all the colors and stuff. Data/trade service settings. Oh, maybe. Download time. Well, I don't think it's that. South Market. Hey, welcome back. I essentially know a guy who, if his AI says it, it's the truth almost no matter what. Even when I show him how wrong it can be, it's just wild to me. So if you showed him how to prompt his AI to critique what the AI just said. I was actually thinking about this the other day because like the way it's gone with the internet, right? Was it used to be when it first came out, everybody was really cautious. Like, yeah, there's a lot of nonsense on, like, that was the first thing that I remember old people saying about the internet was there's a lot of nonsense on the internet. So then time goes on, people start using Wikipedia and so forth. And all of a sudden it's like, if it was on the internet, it's like golden, right? And then sometime after 2016, I would say probably after 2016, it turned back into, oh, like there's a lot of misinformation on the internet and like we need to do something about it, right? And then all of a sudden it was, well, we're going to start censoring and things like that. And I bet you that AI will go the same way. Like right now it is, you shouldn't trust anything that your AI says. But I think that it will probably get to a point where the accuracy of them will be much improved. And then it will turn into like the AI is always, people will always listen to what the AI says. And that will go on for a while before they realize the problems with that. And then they'll go back to, oh, well, we need to censor them. it's on Google, it's fact. Cute cat. So yesterday I saw this video where it was like a cat, an AI generated video. It was like a cat on a piece of toast. And then a butter knife came along and started spreading the cat, and it turned into butter. And it was the most bizarre and I would say disturbing videos I've ever, like, there was nothing gory or bloody about it, but it was just like so uncanny and weird. I think the AI will dead internet theory pretty much, and oh wait, it seems to be happening already a whole bunch. Well, it's definitely already like, I don't think anybody trusts what's happening on social media. But I think that it's going to change. At some point, I think that it's going to turn into, basically what happened. I have too many thoughts here. Let me back up a second. When I was a kid, I remember being on internet forums, and there was all sorts of strange memes that would carry between internet forums. This forum would get into the meme, and then another forum would, and people would just keep reposting all these pictures everywhere, right? And then MySpace and Facebook came along. And when MySpace and Facebook came along, like, we all immediately knew what was going on. Because there was this thing to a forum where it was like, if you were one of the posters that was posting the most and things like that, you could become really popular on the forum or whatever, and that kind of helped you. Like, if you posted something or posted a link, it was more likely to get clicked and things like that. So then when MySpace came along, and all of a sudden you could have literally thousands of followers, we immediately was like, I need to become the most popular person on this platform so that I can promote my ideas. And I remember doing that because at the time I thought I was going to make a website or something, right? And what I didn't realize was that Facebook was going to come around and basically kill all of the internet forums. But at that point, it was kind of established, like, the thing that was cool about it. I think one of the things that attracted people to it, and then Twitter really, really, truly capitalized on it, was that you could have this huge influence by having tons of followers, right? And I think that what people have learned is that there are some people that do that, but they're mostly all celebrities now. And you, the regular person, your network isn't worth squat, and like, just nothing happens, right? So I think at some point it goes back the other way. Like, one of the more popular services that I see out there these days is Discord. You go and you start a private Discord server with just your friends, and you got a good enough group that's active, and that's way cooler, I think, than screaming into the void on Twitter. So I think that that's probably the way that it's going to go. And the way that AI would probably play into that is that the AI allows you to make the internet more personalized to you. So I think that's the way, more personalized in smaller groups. So, like, yeah, it's like dead internet. I think that the major forums will decline in popularity because everybody will think that they're manipulated and people are stupid. And people will move more towards small communities where they know everybody that's there. And if you are a idiot in that small community, they just kick you out. Okay, back to CR chart. Chart controls, header, chart header, tree, chart drawing, keyboard, menu items, system, date time from server. I thought that would maybe open time zone settings. Oh, it doesn't even have mine set. Time zone. Denver. Cool. So now it does show things in the correct time zone and stuff ends at the correct time at 1500, essentially. Okay, so now I will go back into the settings. Session, and what did you say that you were setting them to? What's your time zone, Octavius? Your time zone is probably Eastern time zone, right? So start time 1800 and end time 1759:59. Do you have use evening setting? Was that set? You had evening sessions set, and that's what messes it up. Dun, dun, dun. Well, maybe that's not what messed it up for you, but that definitely. Well, actually, no, it didn't. It resets over. It just resets in a different spot. No. What about new bar at session start? It's not that. By intraday session times to intraday chart. I didn't change anything either. For the VIX. Oh, okay. So what's going on there is that there was I don't know if I can show you a picture. I'd have to go and find it on Zero Hedge, but basically you can kind of look at implied volatility over time, and the implied volatility basically look like this right now. And this was CPI, and this is FOMC next week. So what happened was the CPI came through. It was good. I really feel that in this situation, that's like the best scenario you could get with CPI. Because if we had CPI where it was like inflation was actually going down, I think that would be a reflection that like the economy is getting weaker. But what we're seeing right now, I think, is that the economy has been very, very resilient to tariffs. I think there's this thing like the tariff rates that Donald Trump initially put in place before it was like we're going to negotiate, right? If those were put in place over several years, I think that would have a damaging effect, right? But what we're learning is you put the tariffs on, it doesn't necessarily cause the thing to happen right away because, you know, there is like supply chain things like, you know, people already have inventory here in the US and they just rely on that inventory for a while and ride things out and things like that. So I think there is still a possibility that we see inflation move up. Or more inflation than we would like. Like, I think that the inflation might be sticky at 3% instead of 2% is kind of, I think, one of the big fears. And maybe because of inflation, right? But we're not getting like the hyperinflation and all these things. And if we did see inflation come down, it would maybe be a reflection that like these tariffs really, really hurt. But right now, they haven't hurt that much because companies are resilient. That's kind of cool. So you're seeing the VIX gap down right now because that risk event has come and gone and nothing bad happened. Okay. You're probably going to see another spike in the VIX going into next week, going into next Wednesday. So you might I don't know, like maybe one of the plays that you could have is to buy options while the volatility is low and hope that the FOMC comes out a certain way, increases volatility. I don't know if that one really makes sense, because I don't think that the Federal Reserve is going to say anything that's going to like kill the market. Really make money on options like that. That's the best way is to buy puts, right? So, but just as an example, because that's what we see, that's kind of the structure, that term structure of implied volatility right now. Oh, so when we're over here in CR charts, we have this one. And this one is resetting at a different time. Session times. 1600. $15.59. And now it looks correct. How is Sierra charts? I still feel it's really janky, but you know, it's okay. I think, you know, I think the thing is the things that so here's the thing that's kind of weird about day trading software is, like, I feel like it's really become specialized. It's like it's hard to differentiate yourself in the space. And so you kind of have different ones that kind of cater to different people, or at least the really smart ones do, right? Like Jigsaw is really optimized towards DOM traders, right? And Sierra charts is really geared towards somebody that is just absolutely obsessed with performance, with their system performance and the system being the fastest. And that's what CR Charts does, and it does it really well. I prefer Jigsaw because I feel like that they have a better, like, you know, they come out with new features, and, you know, I think that they have a good development team that, like, you can stick with long term. You're going to get better software overall. CR Charts is always going to be behind on, you know, they're going to be copying their features, right? I really like NinjaTrader because they have, like, the best ecosystem. It's really easy to write things in C#, and there's so many indicators out there for it, right? But the person that goes in and buys Sierra Charts, even if it doesn't fit them perfectly, they're not obsessed with performance, right? If they get Sierra Charts, and especially if that's all they've ever known, they're still going to be perfectly happy with it. And Sierra Charts is aware of where their deficiencies are, and they have built lots of stuff to deal with those, so that if you buy Sierra Charts, you'll still be happy, you know? For a long time, Sierra Charts had a better DOM than Jigsaw? I don't know. But Sierra Charts has always had, like, there are a couple of weird features that their DOM does that the Jigsaw DOM doesn't, but I don't think that you need. I guess there are maybe some features that Jigsaw has that Sierra Charts doesn't as well. But again, not ones that I really use. So. Now, I want to make a platform. My platform would be, I want to have a platform that is optimized towards helping you create machine learning strategies. That's the thing that I think is missing and I have very specific features and ideas about what you could how you could build a platform from scratch that would make it better for that stuff. But I would need a lot of time and resources to develop it. So if you know anybody that's got a couple $1 million and wants to invest it into a business, let me know. Until then, I probably will wait until interest rates are lower, or maybe somebody beats me to it. I have to say though, I feel really encouraged by, converting this over to my indicator over to Sierra charts, because I'm not going to switch over. Okay, but we got the indicator working on Sierra charts. It's really good. Oh, by the way, while I'm thinking here, I think that Amir sent me the, yeah. So let me add you on here. There you go. Okay. So now, Amir, when you reload the platform, you'll be able to see it. I really think it would need a couple $1 million, yes. Maybe that is too high. But I'm just thinking I probably need a team of like 5 engineers, and they need to be pretty well-paid engineers. I think that to get to a minimum viable product, I probably don't need a couple $1 million. Actually, to get to like minimum viable product, I could probably do it on my own. But I would just need maybe 3 months worth of time. Yeah. Forgot what I was even doing, guys. Good grief. I don't know. You know, it's one of the weird things is, well, you know what? It's not, to me, it's really not weird though. It's like, okay. I feel like I have a mission here on this channel. What is my mission? My mission is to help people understand that in complex systems, outcomes tend to be more heavily influenced by emergent properties of the system created by complexity itself, rather than what people are thinking and doing, which is what we typically think of, right? We are tribal, and we're meant to think about, okay, of the 200 people in my community, what are they going to think about this? How is this going to play out in my little community, right? And in the modern world where everything is complex, what often ends up happening is emergent properties of that system are the biggest edges, right? So how does that apply to finance? When you go and you look at what are the strategies that work, momentum, value, maybe theta decay, market making, we could maybe put those in a category. Okay, like these ones that are known, all of those strategies are essentially taking advantage of the market microstructure and not the psychology of crowds, essentially. And the reason this is so important is in order for us to move to the next stage of our civilization, we are basically at a bottleneck. The technology is just wavoom, right? But the politics isn't there, is it? The politics and the economics, I mean, there's a lot of great things about the economy. I'm doing pretty okay in this economy, even though I got laid off and have gone through that, and that's been pretty rough, but I've still fared fairly well. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Western economies, super, super great. But there's a lot of people that are very unhappy with things, right? And I don't want things to go to communism. We know that doesn't work. So what is the next stage? The bottleneck is our understanding of complexity. The thing that's going to get us to the next stage is understanding complexity and having the tools to be able to deal with it. Because we, as individuals, are not equipped by nature to handle complexity. Okay? So that is what we're doing. That is really why we're here. And at this point, the market is simply a really convenient vehicle to talk about and study that stuff. So yes, we're trying to make money trading, but I think that my impact in the world is helping you guys understand complexity and not, entertaining you with like huge trades or something like that, right? So I went and I made a bunch of videos about this stuff. One of the more recent videos that I made was about complexity. It was kind of like, okay, that was, I got most of the really detailed videos with like the deep knowledge that I really wanted to share with the world out there. And now what do we do? Make some videos that are kind of like more general audience sort of a thing. I don't know. We would just see, and I didn't really have time to make videos anyways. And we ended up making this video about the KVM switch. And so funny thing about the KVM switch is I put it out, and then I didn't really get, that many views like the first day or whatever. And then the next day, it like blew up and it had way more views than videos on my channel tend to get. I was like really thrown back and surprised by it. It was like, wow, they must have sent people like the people from the company that makes the KVM switch. They must have came in and all viewed it and left a comment or something, and that's why it blew up. But you know what actually happened was when I posted the video, I sent them a message just letting them know that it was posted and to review it and let me know if there's anything in the description or anything that I should change. And then I forgot to click send. So it was sitting there as in a draft. They didn't know that the video was released. So it actually did just pop off on its own. Isn't that crazy? And now I'm getting messages from other people that want me to look at other pieces of hardware that are interesting. So it seems to me like whenever I can see where I'm supposed to go. It's like God's leading me. I see where I'm supposed to go. I make all of that content. I'm really nervous. I get to the end. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do next, right? And then the next step is just always right there. What is with that? It's crazy how that works. So I thoroughly believe that if I am meant to build a day trading platform to better handle machine learning algorithms and those sorts of things, that when the time is there, the pathway will reveal itself. And who knows, maybe it's the videos that we're making right now are going to be the things that, I'm totally okay reviewing products and helping those companies out to some extent. I mean, of course, I'm not going to impugn my integrity, so I'm not going to go and say something's amazing if it's not good, right? And I'm not going to pick up something that I don't think really has any relevance to my audience. But yeah, a couple of pieces of hardware that is useful to you guys, and that helps the channel, then that helps the channel, and maybe that's the sort of thing that helps us be able to build that platform. Let's see here. Jigsaw does not reset the stacking number if price pulls up one tick, so you can see the iceberg. You mean like if you were iceberging and it like the iceberg moved? could be a thing, maybe. Oh, you're saying Sierra charts doesn't hold. Okay, where do you think gold is heading? So all of the analyst reports that I've seen on golds are pretty bullish on gold. I think it was the Goldman Sachs guys see us going to 4,000 in the next year or so. I don't know. So I tell you what, I'm in silver, and silver's been awfully good. The all-time high in silver is 50. So once you get up into the 40 to 50 range, silver starts getting crazy. And what we're seeing is the Chinese central bank is buying a lot of gold. So from a supply-demand perspective, and granted, this is not like my area of expertise, and I'm mostly relating research that other people have done and that I haven't gone super into depth on. But I would say, generally speaking, I'm bullish on gold. There are still risks out there. Like one of the problems you could have, I think, is remember that when we were having inflation in 2022, gold performed very poorly. Did not act as a hedge against inflation. So that's one place where gold might have some problems. Can you pull up my ZB chart from the chart book? Okay, let's see here. So we go to cost basis, and then we minimize that, I think. Oh, actually, I don't need to minimize that. I can still keep this full size, but I need to click ZB. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that one's working well. Okay, so the cost basis here doesn't look correct to me. But that is probably because over here in the chart settings, again, the session time is set incorrectly. That should be 16 and 15. 16 and 15. And that looks correct. Very interesting. So remember the other day when I was like, these lines don't look correct. Like this one is the same, but this one is not. And I figured out why that was. So why that was is the thing that actually went in and like matched the volume up was doing it backwards. So I was going from the bottom, but I was matching the sells against the buys instead of the buys against the sells. So it was actually like this guy's position plus this guy's profits. And it was interesting where that line showed up at. So, but this line is correct, and I think ultimately more useful, which is, okay, for this seller, how much could he potentially have made in profits on the session, and at what point is he outright losing money? That's the line. Very interesting that they don't, the way that the chart book works, that it doesn't carry over the time zone, but they're storing that number and not the actual time that it represents. That's curious. By the way, Octavius, when I gave you permissions to the indicator and you restarted CR charts, does it say something to you? Like, how do you know that it works? Or is it just then you go in and add a study and my DLL is there? Like you come in, chart, analysis studies, add custom study, and it shows up here. So it doesn't give you any notification. It's just you come into here and you can see it. That's interesting. Oh wow, these are all user contributed studies and there's so many of them. Ooh, by the way, what is the margin requirement for trading ZT, ZF, ZN, ZB futures? And also, if I trade spread strategies like ZF to ZN, then what happens to the margin? Ah, very good question. So your margin in ZN, I think, is $500. It changes like the day trading margin. Okay, the long-term holding margin is different, and you have to go and look that up on the exchange. I think it's like $2,500. But spreading, if you when you take a position in a spread, they have this complicated system that determines your margin requirements at that point. So you would have to go to the CME website to calculate that, but it is significantly less. And I think the thing is, I don't know if like your day trade margin matters, but like because one of the things with spreads is to really make money from spreads, you might want to hold it for a long time. Like that's one of the places that spreads are really interesting is for a swing trade. And holding a spread is cheaper than holding the outrights. Last time I checked. Oh yeah, so I was thinking, so the other day, I was like, do you guys remember when we were over here and I was like, oh, well, what is this? And we added some indicator onto the chart. It wasn't this cumulative delta volume, by the way. We added something over on it to Sierra charts, and I'm like, wait, how would that work? And I thought it was like a cumulative delta. Like, how would that work? And so then I went into the indicator and saw how it was working, and it was basically like loading a one tick data series in there and everything. And I wish I could find that indicator again, and I don't remember what it was called. Is it possible that I still have it open in the Pine editor? Shannon entropy? Cumulative delta volume, maybe? Well, that's really interesting. Maybe it is this one. Study. No. This one is not doing it. Oh, wow. Goldman is down after the Q2 results. Let's just does Zero Hedge have a story on it for me yet? Bank of America misses on revenue despite stellar sales, and trading results projects 2 rate cuts in NII forecast. I mean, if the banks aren't doing so hot. Oh, Goldman tops estimates. Traders generate 840 million more revenue than expected. 22% jump in revenue. And they're down. Eek. Well, we'll see you later. Anyways, I was hoping that you guys would remember, but I wish that it had something that was like recent scripts or something. There's a VWAP standard deviation bands. Source code for that. This is where I came up with it's using typical is what it's doing. Gotta find it. So, let's see. Amir was showing me that it didn't show up. So just to be clear, the way where you go would be studies, add custom study, and speculator Seth should be one of those top. Like it won't be under user contributed studies. It'll be under speculator Seth. But I think I can fix this. I think even if it's not sending it to you because maybe there's something wrong with your version, I think I can still give you the DLL itself. Hold on. And you do have to close and reopen Sierra charts, but I'm assuming that he already did that. Yeah. So there's a couple of cumulative volume delta. So this one, they're setting percentages, which is about 70% accurate. I don't know how you close. So I'm expecting it to try and add a one-tick data series. Okay, so here's... Oh, the lonesome is the one that I was looking at, huh? Does TradingView have footprint charts? It does. Well, there's a community one. One tick. Requests security lower time frame. That's what we want. Well, some of the things that it's doing here don't make much sense to me, but that's kind of the bit that I'm missing. So I have to create a footprint chart of the full session so far. And that's what I use to calculate the levels. So it might be a little jank. It might not be as completely accurate, but supposedly we can do it. Hey, they're moving up there. I'm liking that little creep there. Haven't broken the high yet, but it's right there. Okay, but I think we have the stuff to do it in TradingView. So I think that's the next step. That's another one where, like, if we can use it on stocks in TradingView, I think that would be really, really powerful and really opens the audience up, right? Good morning, D. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a week or two. Probably been like 3 months, and I'm just... Oh, let's see here. They have the actors for the live-action Legend of Zelda selected. Zelda will be played by Bo Bragson and Link by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth. Who is that? Oh, Zelda's Bo. Her name is Bo. That's interesting. Bo Bragson. I've never heard of them before, so that's probably good. Oh man, guys. That's the next big female Hollywood actress. You're looking at them right now. I guarantee it, man. She's got the look, and she's gonna be Zelda. As long as they don't completely screw it up, I think that she's probably... Yeah. She could be big. I don't think I've seen any of these shows that she's been in. So... Very interesting. I look healthy and relaxed. I don't know if I'm really actually unhealthy and relaxed. I mean, I've definitely been better than I've been the 6 months prior. But I haven't been working out super hard lately. Also, the camera's not... I still don't have the camera dialed in. It's too dark there. It should be like, if I change it to F3. Well, maybe should still be a little bit more, but must be your suntan. I was outside yesterday. But you know what, man? I pretty much straight up avoid the sun. I used to be into the, yeah, you should, you know, you get suntan, you should look good, but I've concluded that one, it's really not good to be in outright sun all the time. Anyways, two, I live at a higher elevation, so there's more problems with that when you're at the higher elevation. And three, that if you're not going to be doing it like a large portion of the day every day, then yeah, this is not going to work. So I turned into, I'm going to avoid the sun. I got everything that I could to block it as well as I could when I'm outside, and yeah. I straight up avoid the sun now. Let's see here. I had a very good continuous DeepSeek chat with ZNZB UV knob spreads. Very interesting what DeepSeek comes up with. Oh, yeah? Could see. People have sent me some interesting things that, like, LLMs have done from deep research. But, you know, it's kind of iffy. Like, very much depends on the context that you give it, right? So... like the issue with an LLM doing research, right, is like you can say, okay, do research on this thing, and what it's going to do is it's going to combine all of the things that you're looking for information about, and it's going to gain as much insight as it can from those things, right? And then it's going to give you a report. The problem with an LLM is that it doesn't understand what it's saying. So it doesn't know if the research that it's found is significant or not, right? When a researcher puts something up on ARXIV, it often means, you know, that was something that they thought was significant or worth looking into or whatever, right? So with LLMs, it can be kind of hit or miss. I think, though, where the power in it can come from is, like, there are a lot of subjects, and spreads is probably a really good example, and I'm kind of like, you should just send me the report, because otherwise I'm just going to go and make my own and try my own. But, you know, things where there is a lot of, we know that there are people out there doing stuff about it, but we can't find any kind of information in the retail space about it. And maybe there's some stuff, maybe there's some empirical research out there, but I just can't find it. And you ask the LLM, and the LLM will find it. You know? Can I send it? Okay. Oh, later today. Okay. But I think I have asked them about spreads before. I think more in the context of scalping, though. And it basically was giving me a thing to say, like, here's the spread, and if the change in the spread is outside of some statistical variation, then you trade it on, it will mean revert. So... you know, it was just okay in that one. But that again is like, well, but maybe the context that I gave it, maybe it was because it was more interested in scalping strategies and mean reversion strategies, or who knows, right? Excuse me. I was cleaning my mouse a little bit there and it just pushed the wrong button. Did come up with mainly divergences. So I wonder, am I missing? I'll do it over here. Known profitable strategies. So one of the things that people will say is you can't beat the index. That's objectively false. Value. Warren Buffett beats the index. Value is a strategy that we know works, or that we know can work. It's been done before. Momentum. So there are many, many, many funds that did momentum and that have performance better than the S&P 500. Not all of them. There's a lot of them that are trying to do it and they don't win, but there are some. Okay. Market making. So like Citadel does market making, right? They make more than the S&P 500 on average, right? Or often they do. Market making is one. I'm going to add in here, even though it kind of fits under the category of market making, theta decay. So the implied volatility tends to be more than the realized volatility, and therefore selling options tends to be a net profitable strategy. And with the right leverage and amping it up and things like that, you can potentially make more than the S&P 500 with it. Am I missing something really glaringly obvious? Well, no, I am, because one is informed trading, and the other one would be fat tails. That's Nassim Taleb. Those are like the known strategies that we've got out there. It's interesting. Most of these kind of involve either having a large amount of capital and or holding positions for long periods of time. The only one that's in there that's possibly relevant to day trading is market making. Market making and informed trading. But you're not always going to be informed, unfortunately. So what we're trying to do is informed trading. Market making, you can try doing that, but I don't know if you're competitive against the robots. So this one used to be retail traders could trade, and it's been destroyed for us. It leaves us with informed trading, right? And I think that one of the issues here is none of these work for us, right? These don't match us. We don't have a ton of money. We want to hold the position just for the day. We're not a robot. Then what do you have, right? And so the truth is that I feel like that a lot of us, in order to get what we want, you would have to come up with something completely new. So I don't know. Or it's something completely new, or be really, really good at informed trading, which is basically what I've done. Sometimes I'm really good at it, and sometimes not. Maybe we should put that into DeepSeek. So here are some known profitable strategies. Can you think of other possible categories of strategies that would be more suitable for a retail day trader. Maybe. But probably what it's going to say is, well, but there's many categories of market making strategies that you could try to implement. Probably what it would say. Yeah, and be specific to ZN. But like that's the other thing is that it seems to me like one of the things that makes ZN special is that it is kind of like the origin. Like so many other things are based on the price of the 10-year treasury. And so the passive flows that you get in the treasury, they are there, but it's just different from other instruments. You know? You don't get the same kind of correlated instrument flows. In other words, ZN ends up being an instrument that professionals themselves have a very difficult time trading. So it's like the currencies and the treasuries are very hard for them to trade. But they know that it can be done because they all know that they have a treasury desk and what they're doing is very different, but that, you know, they're really good. Right? But that's very different from these guys that are trading like hard commodities. It's different because you're doing supply and demand estimates and stuff like that. It's different from stocks. It's different, you know, it's just an interesting kind of a thing. And so that to me kind of is like here again. So there's definitely strategies out there. It's especially with ZN, you're looking at strategies. Smart to try and come up with strategies specific to ZN. But it also seems to me that ZN makes itself particularly difficult to trade from a technical perspective. That just using technicals, you're probably... I don't know if you can really make the cost of execution on really any purely technical strategy anymore, aside from like really, really like scalp really, really high frequency stuff. But it's probably worse in ZN just because of the nature of it, you know? All right. Okay. Oh, it's not compatible with Amir's version. I'm sorry. Okay. I got to get going, though. It's time for me to go. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Keep it up with the, you know, this is one of those things where, you know, the robots can still give you good stuff, right? It's just random. So we just got to keep trying and they'll pop up with something. And we actually have a lot of things to still look into. Like it gave me some good ideas on what to do with the inventory cost basis. So, hey guys, I will catch you tomorrow. Stay excellent.